Hello, everyone. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks for tuning into Let's Talk About It Media 21, where we talk hot topics, trending topics, what's going on around the world, what's being talked about. So we're going to get into a few different things. Just allow me a few seconds to adjust myself. I got to make sure I do what I have to do on this side. Okay. Like the video as you guys come in. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting. It was all set, then I moved it. That was my fault. Into Let's Talk About It Media 21. I got to watch having other people's titles up there, but thanks for tuning into Let's Talk About It Media 21. We talk hot topics, trending topics, what's going on around the world, what's being talked about. So we're going to talk about Candace and Erika again. Many people are doing major deep dives in regards to what happened that day. And many people are pointing to a lot of different things that's making me eye the whole situation about the day and how the day was planned. I was very clear that it's very interesting that there was no ambulance there and how they drove him to the hospital and how they passed the ambulance, which is very interesting. And then allegedly, we're hearing that they didn't want the doctor to go back into the room after he had briefly, well, after he had treated Charlie. I wouldn't say briefly, after he had treated Charlie. So that's interesting. Maybe they did not want the ambulance to treat Charlie when you really think about it, because they would have put in notes of what was transpiring, what could have happened. They would have talked about everything. They would have did a deep dive in regards to what was going on with Charlie. So maybe they didn't want the ambulance there when you really think about it. I'm stuck on that because it doesn't make sense that there wasn't an ambulance there. There wasn't an emergency department there to treat him, because all colleges have some kind of medical whatever. You know what I mean? But yeah, that concerns me. Many guys are doing deep dives in regards to his shirt, what was underneath the shirt. They're talking about the cameras. They're talking about the people near Charlie, by Charlie. They're talking about a lot. Why is that popping up? So just allow me a few moments to do my disclaimer, because people are going to start forming in, and I want to get through my disclaimer, because that way, if they've never been to the page, they won't wonder what I'm saying. So all comments are alleged. Hold on one second. All comments are alleged. Please like the video. All comments are allegedly. Copyright disclaimer: under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships and research. Fair use is use permitted by a copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged, in our opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. So we're going to go ahead and click on this video so that way you can hear what Candace is saying.
Was that, and I think that they got, and I am, just to say this, very happy that we are on much better feet and that we have opened the lines of communication. I do genuinely think that Justin Strike did a great job reffing that conversation yesterday. And I also do want to shout out Megyn Kelly, because this was we were trying to make this happen in the background, really since Blake Neff fumbled the first invite. And thank you. That's in large part because of you guys at home that were like, what the F was that? And I think that they got enough flack that they were like, okay, we got to fix this.
Right.
But I want to commend him for making that happen, for being the person that, kind of rolled up his sleeves and was like, okay, let's actually make a conversation happen and start answering some questions, which I think was done well. And Megyn Kelly, who was initially going to, when we were going to live stream the conversation before the Barry Weiss moment, Megyn Kelly offered to ref that conversation. I felt like she would have done a very good job. I do think that she has kept it very even. She has not been hysterical and it's demonic, it's evil, how dare Candace? And I appreciated that. And just to say this, very happy that we are on much better feet and that we have opened the lines of communication. And I appreciate that. She has said, I don't agree with Candace, but I also don't think that she's doing this because she's been possessed by a demon. I think she actually believes these things, and I do. And I have a right to believe those things. And so the people that I mentioned on the show that I think are shady at Turning Point USA, and with time, we'll see whether or not I was right. I think that's really what it comes down to. But all around, definitely a productive conversation. And I appreciated that. She has said, I don't agree with Candace, but I also don't think that she's doing this.
Next clip. Like the videos, you guys come in. So this is just a clip They did work it out. They worked it out. They worked it out. They worked it out. So let's go to this
I
one
am
because Candace Owens is also talking about Ben. And we're going to get to the clip of her talking about Ben. And then I found a video of Candace talking about her being fired. And I don't know if I'll get into that today, but we're going to get into what she talked about regarding Ben. And she did do a short too. So let's see. We'll go to this one first. Like the videos, you guys come in. Like the videos, you guys come in. Thanks for being here. I was debating whether to go live on a Saturday. I was really supposed to be somewhere, but I said, okay, let me go ahead and get this video done so that way I don't have to do it Monday. But like the videos, you guys come in.
By saying that it's pretty obvious that Ben Shapiro is terrified. We can all see that now that Charlie Kirk is dead. He seems to be taking multiple stages and demanding an allegiance to Erika Kirk. In fact, it almost seems like he's demanding that nobody inquire further about Erika Kirk. It's odd because Ben had no allegiance to Charlie Kirk when he was alive. So what is it about Charlie's widow in particular that is inspiring his very public nervous breakdown? Personally, I think he knows something about her. That is what I am sensing, that he knows something about Erika Kirk. And every time he speaks, I grow more certain that Israel might be involved with 9/10. So let's keep investigating. Welcome back to Candace.
Like the videos, you guys come in. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. There's a lot going on. They had that event. Erika talked about JD Vance. She endorsed him. So that's very interesting. Because if you don't know, because some people don't know, they had stated that Charlie Kirk was on track to the presidency, to where I guess they felt he was well liked in the world. He helped the man that's in the office now. So many people felt that he was on track to the presidency. So now Erica's endorsing JD Vance. Put your eyebrow and check that out. And then remember how she's hugged up with him, putting her hands in his hair. And then even at the event a few days ago, because I don't give them, props of what they do. There was an event they had. You can look it up. She had joked about the Egyptian plane. She had joked about the hugs that she give and putting her hands in people's hair. This is my biggest thing, sweetie. You lost your husband. The way you hug people are very, very interesting. You have women that you're hugging their husbands and they're side eyeing you. There's videos out there. And some men are very cautious of how they hug you. So she wants to joke about it. She knows the hugging and putting her hands in JD Vance hair was inappropriate. You know that. I wish a woman would put her hands in my man hair. Hello. It's like she want to do things so it trends, so people will talk about that and not talk about her and not do deep dives regarding her. It's just weird. Real talk. It's just weird. And people called it out. And then, of course, we don't know why JD Vance's wife has decided to take her ring off, but we never know. Maybe it's getting clean, but here nor there. Erica's been doing things for America's been doing things and people have been talking about it. I had to change up how I thought about that. She's been doing things and she wants different things to trend versus what people are talking about. So I think she's doing things to get a reaction. Just how when they had the event, her tablet wouldn't cut on. Very interesting, right? Was it even charged? For the event, she said she could not get to her notes and her speech because the tablet wouldn't spark up. The tablet wouldn't cut on. She doesn't know what happened with the tablet. And I don't know. I think it cut on later because she had music playing later. So maybe one person from her team was able to get the tablet working and going so she could see her speech and have her speech in hand, because even in some of her interviews it seems like she's reading cue cards. Even the guy that did a conversation about Candace, he was reading some papers and talking about Candace. He couldn't go off the mind and off the rip to talk about Candace. And then her in the red jacket, it looks like she's reading cue cards to make certain bullet points and talking points. So that's very interesting. But um she had different jokes to say in regards to the weekend, whatever. But many people showed up. I think many people showed up because they wanted to hear about the response. I do. I do. I think they showed up because they wanted to hear about the response, what she's going to say about the husband, RIP to Charlie Kirk. I did not agree with a lot of things he said, talked about different race, cultures, marriages. I didn't believe in a lot of things he said. And you can't make me feel at any point you're going to push a narrative on the American young adults to believe the same thing you believe. Certain people are raised different. Certain people are raised by two parents. Certain people are raised by one parent. Certain people have their beliefs and what their grandparents think of the world and what's going on in the world. So I hope everyone appreciates. Do what's best for you. Believe what you want to believe. Many people are calling it an interesting how she is, but it is what it is. People are saying people can't tell Erika how to mourn. People are also saying people can't tell Candace how to mourn. She's mourning a friend as well. You get that? And she's trying to investigate what happened to her friend. But when you think about what Erika said, how she alleged forgave the person that possibly took her husband out, but she's big mad at Candace for doing deep dives on what happened to her husband. People are saying, how do you still you're still building? How are you not still mourning? So people are questioning that. But we're gonna go ahead and get to this clip. And Candace is going to, yes, hit that like button, you guys. Get the likes up. There's 529 in the building on a Saturday. Welcome, welcome. Let's get to this video regards to Candace talking about Ben. On these particular issues has been ridiculous. It's not so sophistication, it's ridiculous. Everybody can see the moves that she's making and the things that she's saying, and I'm disreputable. Disreputable, disgraceful. She works at my company. You can imagine that the internet went crazy because they wanted me to respond to him. I can't believe this. They work together, they're colleagues. Somehow this gets leaked. And I want to mention, morning, everyone. Morning. That was on the morning of November 14th. I was 6 days away from giving birth. I was very heavily pregnant. Anyways, I wake up to this, and shockingly, nobody from the Daily Wire steps in to manage the situation. And as you can imagine, virtually every journalist, every person with a media platform was contacting me to comment, to respond to me being insulted by someone. I'm about to give birth, I'm being insulted, and they're not getting anything from the Daily Wire. So I am obviously frustrated. You should also tell you, I had no PR at this time. My PR was the internal PR at the Daily Wire. And it was very clear that their focus was on protecting Ben, even though he was the one who insulted me publicly. Because I said that side is always wrong. That is the genesis of that statement. That's all I said. Obviously, I wanted to respond angrily to the press. I wanted to hit back at Ben. And I guess you could sort of say my perspective was an eye for an eye, but my husband, who was a better person than me, instructed me that morning to instead take a deep breath, relax, okay? Don't think about what you're feeling in the moment. Think about how you're going to feel in the future. And he instructed me to instead read the Bible, the Sermon on the Mount. I read through it, and he reminds me that everybody who wants to comment, they don't care about me either, right? They're selling headlines, they want the clicks, they want the drama, and I'm going to feed into that for what reason? For what reason, actually, am I going to give a comment and say something about Ben Shapiro? Blessed are the peacemakers, right? Don't buy into this click culture. And so I tweeted that, actually, my husband was right. I called for peace. I tweeted, blessed are the peacemakers. And I made the mistake, I guess it was a mistake, that after I tweeted, blessed are the peacemakers, and I'm thinking that I'm going to be commended when I get back to work. Like, wow, you really took the high road. I ended this biblical passage with Christ is king. Christ is the king. He's the only thing that matters. Obviously, Christ is king. Now, it was just Tucker Carlson's luck that I had been slated to come on his news show the very next day. He had booked me 6 weeks earlier. I got approval from Daily Wire. He booked me for November 15th. So suddenly Ben gets on this table, he insults me, it's trending all over Twitter, and Tucker Carlson is going to be the first person to capture my reaction to it. And when it came time, I kept up with the peacemaker. I made the decision to just take the high road. I said,
I don't want that to negatively impact how people perceive the Daily Wire. There are great people there. I mean, I wouldn't be proud on that, but I'm not taking the bait here. I didn't say anything snipey back at Ben because I didn't want to feed the mob. That was my honest perspective. My husband was just right. And also, we're talking about a work colleague, right? Somehow, me taking the high road made him angrier. So here's what he did. Elsewhere in my interview with Tucker, he asks me who I look up to, who I like. And I told Tucker the truth that it was my dream to meet Thomas Sowell. That when I first got into politics, I read a ton of Thomas Sowell books, and I had tried many times to meet him. And obviously, he's aging, but I really looked up to Dr. Thomas Sowell. And here's that clip with me and Tucker.
How do you listen to when you're trying to figure out? I mean, some of the stuff comes at you so fast.
Yes, it's live. Yes, I'm adjusting over here. Thanks for being here. Thanks for tuning into Let's Talk About It Media 21. Like, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to get to 50K, so please hit the subscribe button. Thanks for being here. Let's get the likes up, you guys. Can I get 500 people to double tap that screen to give a thumbs up? Let's continue. Candace's response in regards to Ben.
And you're talking almost every day or writing almost every day. Who do you read or listen to try to make sense or bounce ideas off of?
I have been obsessed with Thomas Sowell. And everybody knows that. I am pretty much a Thomas Sowell groupie. Everything he writes, I read. And it is because he was a part of my awakening story into politics on the economics, which is to say, block out the noise and pay attention to the economics, go backwards in history to understand where we are. When has this worked? Oh, it's never worked. So they're just telling you that it's going to work into the future, and there's no evidence to support that. I don't want to wear foundation every day, so I do this instead.
Like the video, fair use reaction clip. I'm going to try and find her short where she responds to Ben as well. Hold on. Like the video.
Ben saw that. He decided, Thomas Sowell, hey, that's your dream. You love Thomas Sowell. He thought that was an opportunity to get even with me for taking the high road after he insulted me on stage because he's deeply jealous of Tucker Carlson for reasons that I cannot quite understand. Ben had his team reach out and schedule an interview with Thomas Sowell, which they paid for, an offensive amount of money, I presume, to effectively purchase a black man who has no idea what's going on. He's very old, he's in his 90s, to hurt my feelings, okay? Interview with Tucker is on the 15th. I think it premieres on the 16th. And Ben gets Thomas Sowell, who he doesn't care about. I'm working at the Daily Wire at this moment, and I'm about to give birth in 3 days. But this was supposed to be like an FU Candace for taking the high road and saying that genocide is always wrong. That is what I mean when I say he is an incredibly petty man, okay? Now, we know how this ends. I then am fired not for what I said, but for what they assumed that I meant, and for trolls that I didn't respond to. And I want to be clear, it is, you can fire whoever you want. You really can if you're a business owner. It's just that this was atypical in the fashion that it was done, right? It wasn't done in the way where you just say, okay, get out of here, it's not working. Instead, what they decided to do was humiliate me in front of all of the other employees.
I did find the short, so I'm going to play that real quick.
Sending undercover interns to stalk me. He has issued thus far 3 court proceedings, okay, for every solitary petty infraction against things that I say. He's worked with Gary Weiss behind the scenes to have articles written about me. It is non-stop. As you pretend that you care about free speech and debate, I've put up with a lot of it, but today I draw the line. I draw the line with this miserable imp when it comes to Charlie Kirk, okay? Don't try me on this, but you keep trying me on this. You are an imposter, Ben. You're an imposter.
No, Tucker Carlson, it is not an excuse to go silent on Candace's targeting of TPUSA. To mirror her bullshit lines of questioning because you love Candace personally. The same holds true of Megyn Kelly, a person I consider a friend, characterizing Candace as a young mother and thus shying away from condemning her actions or fibbing about them. That is a non-starter. When Candace Owens says, I don't know, but I know, that is and we are all more for having heard it.
Well, Ben, when it comes to you, and having worked with you, I just know the tactics that you use to feign popularity in the public. I just know the amount of money that you are willing to spend on advertising to inflate your numbers to make people think that you're popular. So, yeah, I don't have to say we don't know when it comes to you. You are such a joke of a little man. Your jealousy against Tucker, your ability to believe that you can keep manipulating the markets. You know those kids booed you on that stage. The amount of messages I got from Turning Point USA people saying, what is happening? Why is he on this stage? Standing against everything that Charlie believed in. That's what you're doing. You're standing against everything that Charlie believed in because you weren't his friend. He didn't like you for that very reason. Look at you, and I just think you are such a little worm. I can see you right now, probably. What can we get out to her? We're going to sue her into bankruptcy again, right? Sue her for every infraction and every word that I don't like and every time my feelings are hurt. You believe that you are contract lords and that people are not allowed to violate contracts or you will ruin them for years. Fire someone and you effectively stalk and harass them for years after. I'm here to let you know that I'm done with it. I am done with it. This one is so fully off of the mother effing plantation. Truly, Ben Shapiro, you and the midget horse that you rode in on. And I say that on behalf of the world.
Boom.
Attempting to bankrupt me.
She did a short. This is her. This is not AI. I don't do AI. She got him all the way together. From point A to Z. She got him all the way together.
In courts, sending undercover interns to stalk me. He has issued thus far 3 court proceedings, okay, for every solitary petty infraction against things that I say. He's worked with Gary Weiss behind the scenes to have articles written about me. It is non-stop. As you pretend that you care about free speech and debate, I've put up with a lot of it, but today I draw the line. I draw the line with this miserable imp when it comes to Charlie Kirk, okay? Don't try me on this, but you keep trying me on this. You are an imposter, Ben. You're an imposter.
No, Tucker Carlson, it is not an excuse to go silent on Candace's targeting of TPUSA. Or to mirror her bullshit lines of questioning because you love Candace personally. The same holds true of Megyn Kelly, a person I consider a friend, characterizing Candace as a young mother and thus shying away from condemning her actions or fibbing about them. That is a non-starter. When Candace Owens says, I don't know, but I know, that is and we are all more for having heard it.
Well, Ben, when it comes to you...
Real talk, people are kind of scared of the receipts Candace does have. They're very scared of the receipts she does have. Some of the receipts she shows and some of the receipts she don't show. And they're scared of that. Like the video. Fair use reaction clip. She posted this short yesterday. Let's continue. Fair use.
Having worked with you, I just know the tactics that you use to feign popularity in the public. I just know the amount of money that you are willing to spend on advertising to inflate your numbers to make people think that you're popular. So, yeah, I don't have to say we don't know when it comes to you. You are such a joke of a little man. Your jealousy against Tucker, your ability to believe that you can keep manipulating the markets. You know those kids booed you on that stage. The amount of messages I got from Turning Point USA people saying, what is happening? Why is he on this stage? Standing against everything that Charlie believed in. That's what you're doing.
And she's still getting the inside scoop from Turning Point. Like the video. Fair use reaction clip.
Standing against everything that Charlie believed in. Because you weren't his friend. He didn't like you for that very reason. Look at you, and I just think you are such a little worm. I can see you right now, probably. What can we get out to her? We're going to sue her into bankruptcy again, right? Sue her for every infraction and every word that I don't like and every time my feelings are hurt. You believe that you are contract lords and that people are not allowed to violate contracts or you will ruin them for years. Fire someone and you effectively stalk and harass them for years after. I'm here to let you know that I'm done with it. I am done with it. This one is so fully off of the mother effing plantation. Truly, Ben Shapiro, you and the horse that you rode in on. And I say that on behalf of the world. Attempting to bankrupt me in courts.
So she posted that. And that was a short from last night. So let's continue with her live. Thanks for being here, everyone. Let's continue. Fair use, reaction clip.
Rather than having a conversation, sort of dramatically having me exit after doing my show, not knowing I was going to be fired. And then they had put together a stage in my studio and put up clips of, put together basically a whole package, like almost like a high school.
Sometimes being fired is not a bad thing. Some of these men are trying to control her, and she cannot be controlled. They want her to show receipts so they can try and debunk it. But see, they're big mad because they don't have the receipts and they don't know who she's talking to behind the scenes. So that's taking them off as well. She's getting a lot of tips from different people. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
And conducted what I honestly, when I look back, because it recently leaked what happened at this quote unquote town hall, this is a slave hanging. This is a slave hanging, right? Gather around, everybody else is a slave, and let me tell you how this one messed up. Gather around and watch us whip this person. This is literally how I feel when I watch this, okay? And you'll know what not to do next. And here is a video of the then CEO, Jeremy Boring, which somehow Steven Crowder got a hold of this week or last week or whatever. This is just a portion of it. You should watch the entire thing because it really is something. And ask yourself in your memory, do you ever recall anybody ever being fired where 300 employees then joined electronically? It's up on the screen too, and just enjoyed watching me be humiliated. Where 300 employees are invited down and shown a production of what this person did wrong. Okay, well, let's watch a little bit of this video.
Candace made no statement at all in the days after Hamas terrorists raped, murdered, and tortured civilians, mostly Jews, some Americans, and then they took hundreds more hostage. But then on October 28th of 2023, while anti-Israel protests were raging in London, where Candace, I believe, was at the time, she reposted a video of the protests on X, commenting, quote, "Interesting thing happening here. People are not accepting the media narrative about what's happening in the Middle East, despite the insistent rhetoric from government officials." On November 3rd, she posted, quote, "No government anywhere has a right to commit a genocide, ever. There is no justification for a genocide. I can't believe this even needs to be said or is even considered the least bit controversial to state." There was only one country on earth being accused of genocide at the time. Anti-Semites on X took to it immediately. They cheered at what they rightly or wrongly interpreted as Candace smearing Israel. And Candace didn't rebuff their interpretation. So when Dave Rubin came to the exact same conclusion as the anti-Semites, only instead of cheering for Candace, found it vile and rebuked her, Candace quickly attacked, saying, quote, "What's amazing about this is that I didn't name any country in this tweet. I simply stated that genocide is wrong always. This is not a controversial stance. Interesting how you interpreted it." And then followed up with, quote, "In short, if the blanket statement that genocide is wrong upsets you in any way, then you need to check yourself. I said exactly what I meant, and I won't be backing down or apologizing or further clarifying this statement." Within 24 hours, Candace liked the post calling Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu a war criminal. Now let's be clear. You're free to disagree with Israel's conduct, and you're free to oppose the Netanyahu government. But the idea that Israel is committing genocide or that Netanyahu is a war criminal is just factually baseless. Unfortunately, Candace routinely makes insinuations about Jews that both lovers of anti-Semitism and haters of anti-Semitism both agree is anti-Semitic. And in almost every one of these instances, Candace says nothing to the anti-Semites who cheer her and only pushes back against those who disapprove of her comments. On February 28th of this year, Candace, just asking questions, posted, quote, "Time to look into the history and profiteering of pornography." Her replies were immediately flooded with anti-Semites cheering her for the question and providing the answer that they interpreted her to mean, the Jews. Once again, Candace said,
Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 5 if you've been here before where you're watching from. Let's get the likes up, you guys. We should be at 300 likes. Please like the video so we can continue. We should be at 300 likes. Match the views. Please hit the like button. Let's get the likes up. I have no problem with people communicating in the comments, but let's get the likes up. Thank you.
nothing to disabuse the anti-Semites of their assumption. But when Anthony Coach came to the exact same conclusion, Candace pushed back, saying, quote, "This is utterly insane. I tweeted that porn is harming men in our society, and this person has interpreted that as an attack on Jews. This is an example of clinical insanity. There is no explanation."
Like the video, like the video.
I stand by all of those tweets. Pornography is harming men. We should look into who profits off of pornography. Genocide is always wrong, no matter which country calls for it, whatever. What was controversial about anything that I say now? I'm again wanting you to, these are my crimes. Just imagine 300 people being brought and said, like, she said this, and this is what we know. And then he goes into a diatribe about the real meaning of Christ is King, and he shows videos of Nick Fuentes, which had nothing to do with me. I had never even spoken. I think only one time I'd spoken ever to Nick Fuentes, and it was pertaining to Kanye. Yeah, that was it. But I'm showing you this because it's important for you to understand that this has never stopped. I want you to imagine if you view yourself to be a slave owner and that slave not only survives like this public whipping, but then escapes and becomes successful. That's pretty much my relationship with Ben Shapiro since he's fired me, because they have not stopped. They have not stopped. I am talking about people working behind the scenes to call advertisers, attempting to bankrupt me in courts, sending undercover interns to stalk me. He has issued thus far 3 court proceedings, okay, for every solitary petty infraction against things that I say. He's worked with Barry Weiss behind the scenes to have articles written about me. It is non-stop.
So this is a part of the short I just played. Let's get the likes up. There's about 400 people in the building. Please hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get to 50K. Let's continue.
This, just to be clear, as legal abuse. It's legal abuse. And I have put up with a lot of it. I have put up with the pettiness of even suing me because I interviewed a USS Liberty survivor who mentioned your name as you pretend that you care about free speech and debate. I've put up with a lot of it, but today I draw the line. I draw the line with this miserable imp when it comes to Charlie Kirk. Okay? Don't try me on this, but you keep trying me on this. You are an imposter, Ben. You're an imposter. You pay to pretend that you're friends, that you have a right to be on that stage because you get donors to pressure people, because you know Jewish people who can threaten to take money, or you say, I'm going to do an advertising spend. Here's $1 million. I'm sorry, you're dead. The entire world knows that you are an imposter. I mean, you're so much of a fraud that essentially what you do is you have people send around clips to grown men to cheer you on, to pretend like the audiences love you. You staff audiences with people that work for YAF who are told to explode into cheers when you hit the stage because you don't have the confidence anymore to go out into the world because you know people see you for what you are. And so exactly what he did yesterday. We can now listen to what this imposter said as he hit the stage. Charlie Kirk's organization, the one that he built for debate, if you have disagreement, and he instructs people here in this speech, go after me and Tucker Carlson, right? That's what he's going to do. He wants us deplatformed. So he's going to attack me, he's going to attack Tucker Carlson, and he's going to attack Megyn Kelly because she's at the beginning of what these people have put me and Tucker and Charlie Kirk through. Take a listen to a portion of what Ben had to say.
So, if Candace Owens decides to spend every day since the murder of Charlie Kirk casting aspersions at TPUSA and the people who work here, who worked with Charlie every single day, his best friends, to cast aspersions at Mikey McCoy and Andrew Colvin and Blake Neff and Tyler Boyer, and yes, at Erika Kirk, and to imply or outright claim complicity in a cover-up over Charlie's murder, to spew absolutely baseless trash, implicating everyone from French intelligence to Mossad to members of TPUSA in Charlie's murder, or a cover-up in that murder, then we, as people with a microphone, have a moral obligation to call that out by name. So no, Tucker Carlson, it is not an excuse to go silent on Candace's targeting of TPUSA. Or to mirror her bullshit lines of questioning because you love Candace personally. The same holds true of Megyn Kelly, a person I consider a friend, characterizing Candace as a young mother and thus shying away from condemning her actions or fibbing about them. That is a non-starter. When Candace Owens says, I don't know, but I know, that is retarded, and we are all more retarded for having heard it.
Well, Ben, when it comes to you and having worked with you, I just know the tactics that you use to feign popularity in the public. I just know the amount of money that you are willing to spend on advertising to inflate your numbers to make people think that you're popular. So, yeah, I don't have to say we don't know when it comes to you. You are such a joke of a little man. Your jealousy against Tucker, your ability to believe that you can keep manipulating the markets. You know those kids booed you on that stage. The amount of messages I got from Turning Point USA people saying, what is happening? Why is he on the stage? Standing against everything that Charlie believed in. That's what you're doing. You're standing against everything that Charlie believed in. Because you weren't his friend. He didn't like you. For that very reason. Look at you, and I just think you are such a little worm. I can see you right now, probably. What can we get out to her? We're going to sue her into bankruptcy again, right? Sue her for every infraction, every word that I don't like, and every time my feelings are hurt. Because what you really believe in is Baal Barith. That's what your people believe in. You believe that you are contract lords, and that people are not allowed to violate contracts or you will ruin them for years. Fire someone, and you effectively stalk and harass them for years after. I'm here to let you know that I'm done with it. I am done with it. This one is so fully off of the mother effing plantation. Truly, Ben Shapiro, fuck you and the midget horse that you rode in on.
Hello.
And I say that on behalf of the world. I know you're going to get applauded by Konstantin Kisin and Andrew Christus King Clavin and all of the people, the men who have to keep applauding what you do like you're a 4-year-old to make you feel good. But the rest of the world can't stand you. You're obnoxious. You have absolutely no values that exist outside of the Talmud. You describe yourself as a Talmudic Jew, and and I've learned what's in that Talmud, and I encourage other people at home to learn what is in that Talmud so that you know what Ben thinks of you, because he doesn't just hate me, he hates you too, white men. He hates all black people, okay? If he's following the...
Allegedly, I can't confirm or deny. Like the video, like the video. Like the video as you guys come in. There's about 582. Please subscribe. Please hit the subscribe button. I'm here on a Saturday. Bring you guys some TTT. Please subscribe. Also, let's get the likes up. Let's get the likes to 200. Please double tap that screen. Hit the thumbs up on the video so we can continue. Hit the thumbs up on the video so we can continue. Every video, I should have about 500 likes. Let's get the likes up. Thank you. If you already hit the like, thank you. If you already subscribed, thank you. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Of the Talmud, I mean, when I say hate, they think that we're animals, that they have a right to own us, that they have a right to make us worship them, that they have a right to lie to us, that they have a right to sue us and take everything that we have, that they have a right to deceive us, that they have a right to treat Charlie the way that he treated Charlie while he was alive, only to then try to defraud the population into thinking that he is somehow a part of his legacy, that he somehow cared about Charlie Kirk and cares to protect the people that are working at Turning Point USA. Goodbye, Ben. Goodbye. Question is, how much more money is Ben Shapiro going to spend to make people think that he's popular? How many more articles is his father going to write under a pen name, Hank Berrien of the Daily Wire, under the pen name Hank Berrien, as he wrote while Ben was at Breitbart, before he turned his back and betrayed them too, because that is his nature. One of these belly creatures, sliver on. Question is, how many more weeks and years do we have to keep pretending like Ben Shapiro is relevant?
Dang.
Open-ended question. Of course, what followed Ben Shapiro on stage is somebody who Charlie Kirk loved very much, and who he fought for to the very end. Jewish donors who were pressuring him, some of them because Ben Shapiro insisted that they do. Take a listen to what Tucker Carlson had to say when he hit the stage.
The prediction that, at some point when Republicans took power again, which I did everything I could, to help, and really felt that was important. I still think, I was right. But I really thought that the impulse to deplatform people, or even to use the word platform as a verb, which it's not, noun, don't steal my nouns, deplatform and denounce. Why haven't you denounced somebody else? The whole Red Guard cultural revolution thing that we so hated and feared on the left, that we did everything we could to usher in a new time where you could have an actual debate. I mean, this kind of was the whole point of Charlie Kirk's public life. And I think that he died for it. I really believe that. And I know a lot about it because the last several months of Charlie's life were devoted in part to arguing about this event, in fact, this speech, in fact, my speech here, which he asked me to do earlier this year, this summer, and was immediately put under just immense pressure from people who give money to Turning Point. I would assume good people, but who wanted him to take me off the roster. And this has all become public, and the whole thing is so sad that I never talk about it, except to say Charlie stood firm in his often stated and deeply held belief that people should be able to debate, and that if you have something valid to say, if you're telling the truth, you ought to be able to explain it calmly and in detail to people who don't agree with you, and that you shouldn't immediately resort to shut up racist.
That is Charlie Kirk's true legacy, and that is Charlie Kirk's true friend, just as I was and am, and will continue to fight and ask questions about who killed Charlie Kirk. And to people that are at home, I implore you to wake up to these people who believe that they are contract lords. I challenge Black Americans to wake up to your true history, because your quarrel is not with white men, okay? Wake up to who publishes these books and keeps us warring with one another, Christians versus Christians, right? Christians versus Muslims. Wake up and learn the true history of slavery, because that wasn't exactly a white men sport, okay? Jewish people were the ones that were trading us. Jewish people were in control of the slave trade. They buried a lot of it, but it's there, and you can find it. I think all of us need to wake up to this, because it's making me absolutely sick that he is so bold that he dare sit near Charlie Kirk's chair, that he dare grace that stage when Charlie Kirk knew exactly what Ben Shapiro was and will always be. So again, on your belly, Ben Shapiro. We'll be back after a brief break.
She said,
all right, you guys, when they double down on abortion, you know that we have to double down on...
She said, on your belly? What that mean? Like the videos, you guys come in as she does her commercials and her promos. All comments are alleged. Can't confirm or deny what was happening between Charlie Kirk and Ben. Can't confirm or deny. But Candace is not holding back. Like the video, like the video. There's about 586 in here. It's a Saturday. Please subscribe. We're trying to hit 50K by next month. Please subscribe. We're trying to hit 50K. Also, let's continue to get the likes up. Can I please get people to hit the like? Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's continue. So I don't blame her for speaking up because he spoke up about her. Let's continue. Thank you.
Person who convinces me, who has convinced me that the public is justified in looking into Erika Kirk, it is Ben Shapiro, okay? Didn't like Charlie. You're telling me he's just obsessed with defending the honor of his widow? No, he's fearful. He's fearful of something about Erika Kirk. He just keeps calling out Erika Kirk on stage, demanding allegiance to Erika Kirk. Who are you? Actually, who are you? Why are you in this conversation? Why were you so quick to say that you would pick up his bloody mic and carry on? And didn't you just like fire half of your force that was involved in Daily Wire Kids, only to then drop $1 million on Charlie's show? Again, weaseling your way into the chair when you weren't invited to go on there, but Matt Walsh was. That's what you do. Wheel and deal behind the scenes to make people think that you're liked. It's embarrassing, really, Ben. It's truly. Why are you not embarrassed to be alive? I don't understand it. Anyways, so his general demeanor is starting to make me think that there's something there, right? The Fort Huachuca thing, it's definitively compelling, I would say. I am learning also that Fort Huachuca has ties to Liberty University and that you can attend classes there and achieve your degree at Liberty University. Still working to verify that. Amadei, we're going to get to that, actually, that congressman in a second. Amadei has come out and really kind of not answered where he was on the morning of the 9th. And as I said, I don't know if we can rely entirely on the memory of one person who believes that he saw these individuals. But what I can say is that we verified 1,000% that he was where he said he was, that there was a meeting where he says that there was a meeting. We verified that Captain Neff was there, the one that he says was nice, but he got questioned for a very long time and they wanted to hold him for 24 hours. So everything else that people are trying to dig up about Mitch, you can just ignore. That is a distraction, right? The only way that you can help debunk anything that he has said is to say, oh, actually, I was the person that was there. It wasn't this congressman, it was me. Or I was staying at the Candlewood Inn and Suites and I saw this couple or, these two individuals in the hotel as well. And it was actually somebody else. It was my cousin. We are looking only for somebody to debunk those two aspects, okay? Because he was where he says he was, and everything else we have verified. Ignore the noise and stay focused on that note, because we did know that he was going to get attacked by a lot of trolls, and I did tell you we would put together a Give, Send, Go. You can support Mitch at givesendgo.com/Candace podcast. I literally just hit publish on this right before we went live because I realized I hadn't done it. I need to fill out more and a little bit more about his story, but givesendgo.com/Candace podcast to support him. And like I said, I got the paperwork regarding his lawsuits, everything he said about being put on an NDA for 35 years. It is all real. It is all verified. Take my word on it. You don't have to send a bunch of emails and saying, well, maybe this sounds weird. How do you get onto the base? We verified it all. Okay. Now, regarding Fort Huachuca and what it is.
So does anybody have pictures as well? Are they willing to show that he was, even though she said he was on the base, does anybody have pictures that was who they're saying it was? You know me, I'd rather have proof and pictures. And I mean, his vision. Can anybody show, clips of people being at that base? That'll be interesting if they can prove that. They did prove that he was there because there's papers showing there. But in regards to pictures, in regards to who they saw, that would be interesting if they can release pictures. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Believes that he saw. We told you obviously that he thought that he saw the congressman from Vegas, Mark Amadei. And I will say, regarding the call sign in Vegas, we keep telling you that call sign at various times says Sam 702 or RCH 702. Well, that's Vegas. 702 is Vegas. Shocking just about area codes. Obviously, 702 is Vegas. So that could just be obviously a coincidence, but it becomes compelling. Well, Mark Amadei apparently received a ton of phone calls from his constituents who wanted to know where he was. Like, where were you actually on the morning of the 9th? I want to remind you guys, the meeting was concluding at 7:30. We verified his call logs. We verified everything. The meeting was concluding around 7:30 a.m. in the morning on the 9th on Fort Huachuca, at Fort Huachuca. So it is entirely possible, and as flight routes show for planes that did.
So if Charlie was concerned the week of, isn't that interesting that alleged, we can't confirm or deny. And this is the other thing. Even if Erika was where they're saying, that doesn't mean she did any wrongdoing. Maybe she wanted to up the security. Maybe she wanted to up what was happening to her husband. We can't confirm or deny if there's any wrongdoing in that, though. You know what I'm saying? Still got to protect my page. You still got to be smart. Maybe she was saying, hey, I'm feeling away He's kind of distant. Is there anything we can do to protect him more? Maybe she noticed things as a wife that she wanted to protect things. So I can't confirm or deny her being there the week of, and she wasn't with Charlie, alleged, with these other people. Maybe he felt a way about her doing stuff outside of him. Have you ever thought about that? Hey, honey, where you going? Watch the kids. Or hey, this person babysitted the children. Remember the day before he went to that event, Erika was with her mom, and her mom was having procedures. So well wishes to Erika's mom, hoping she gets better. Candace did say that she got really emotional when it came to her mom. So that's a beautiful thing, that she's a good daughter taking care of and helping her mother. But if there is things that's going on with Charlie, wouldn't you think that a wife would want to be next to a spouse if he's feeling things or he's concerning things, or she could be the extra eyes in the building that's above Charlie? So that's very interesting. Like the video. Thank you for the gifted. Woo, that's a nice gifted for today. Thank you. So that's what I'm saying in regards to that. I talk both Candace and Erika. I go both, and I give communication about both. So we can't confirm or deny if there's any wrongdoing regarding that, but it is very clear that Charlie mentioned he was concerned to people. And go look up the guy that's in glasses, white shirt. He dropped a lot of dimes in regards to his thoughts, his feelings, them being in the vehicle, what happened that day, certain things he's saying, and Erika's probably not knowing he's saying it. And he's actually sometimes on the same side as Candace. That's very interesting. When they were in the vehicle, in the passing the ambulance, he talked about that. If I can find the video, I'm gonna let y'all hear it. So let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Thank you for the gifted. I feel very special. I appreciate you more than you know. Thank you so much for the gifted. I appreciate you. Thank you. Oh, I can give those people hearts. Okay, there you go. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Oh, another gifted. Thank you.
At this meeting, you can get back to DC. You just can, obviously, in that time frame. Well, Mark Amadei tweeted this.
Thank you. Thank you for the gifted. Another gifted.
Consumers who are stuck in practices of the old.
Thank you, you guys. I'm feeling very special this morning. I appreciate you. I appreciate that. Can I give you a heart as well? I'm trying to give that person a heart. J. Let me see. Hold on. What was it? It was JB2. I'm trying to give you a heart as well. What's going on? Why wouldn't it let me hit it? Well, I'm going to give you a heart. I'm going to show a heart on this side. Thank you. Thank you for the gifted. So let's continue with Candace.
Who prefer facts to dreams and falsehoods take comfort knowing that in public service there is this thing called the public record. The public record on September 8th indicates that I was returning to Washington, D.C. from my district and voting on the floor of the House of Representatives, and on September 9th in a 12-hour markup in the House Appropriations Committee, of which I am a member, as well as voting on the House floor. Should you prefer video to the words of a member of the federal legislature, please feel free to view the House Appropriations Committee's recording of said event on that date. To quote Ronald Reagan, facts are stubborn things. Merry Christmas. So it's like, whoa, serving up. I was for 12 hours locked into this meeting, and so there I am. There's my alibi. Well, very quickly, the interneted and realized that actually he missed two of the roll calls that happened in the morning, and that he was present in the evening or late afternoon. We are still working to verify that. I replied to that feed, but I can tell you what this person posted and showed. Diligent Dennison on X wrote, exposed Rep. Mark Amadei tries and fails to give a solid alibi for the alleged September 9th meeting with Charlie Kirk's security, Brian Harpole. The rep claims to have been traveling to D.C. from his district on September 8th, then in a committee meeting for 12 the 9th. However, he was not present for roll call until the third meeting in mid-afternoon on the 9th in D.C. This means he could have spent the night in Arizona on September 8th, attended the morning meeting on the 9th, and caught a military flight 3 to 4 hours away from the base to make it in time for the third roll call in D.C. I can't believe he tried to act like you were there all day. Cooked at the end there. And they were able to demonstrate, according to record, that he did miss 2 of the roll calls. Now, there might be reason. Again, we are looking for follow-up, and our goal here is if he has an alibi and he was there on the floor for 12 hours, we would be obviously happy to say that. Like I said, we can confirm every aspect of Mitch's story, but we can't confirm his memory and whether or not he is good with facial recognition. But I do find it to be compelling for a few reasons. One is that I was actually given the travel logs for Brian Harpole, and it is entirely possible that Brian Harpole could have made it for that meeting. I can tell you that definitively. Brian Harpole could have made it to that base for that early morning meeting. There is no question. And obviously, in the interest of making sure that I'm not misrepresenting him, I have now reached out to Brian Harpole twice. I have his number because he was Charlie's security, and I went on tour with Charlie for years. Messaged him and know that he received it according to iMessage. I messaged him again. I messaged him, just so we're clear, before we went live yesterday, and I messaged him again since, and I asked him, hey, look, we're only in the interest in telling the truth. If you were somewhere that morning, let us know, and we'll clarify that. You would think that he would jump at opportunity, because why would you want to have people even thinking or surmising that you could have been at this meeting when you can easily debunk it? We got crickets from him. Again, it could turn out that it was a Brian Harpole lookalike. It is totally plausible that he just mistook someone's identity, and I am totally open to that and just looking for more information. There was one person who we are vetting who believes that they have evidence that the people that Mitch saw were in fact on that base on that date. We will keep you guys obviously posted on that. Now, something else interesting happened. I have been sending, just so you know, when I send Mitch stuff that's happening and I'm trying to guess who was there or who wasn't there, I don't give him the context when I send him pictures. So when he first described the congressman, described the person's height and their, glasses, this or that, I had sent a few congressmen. He was like, no. And then we landed upon the Las Vegas congressman. We did not give him the name. I didn't know his name, to be honest with you. And he went, that's the guy. So it was interesting. And of course, this was before we discovered the planes and the route to Las Vegas. So that was compelling. Yesterday, and genuinely because I was sitting down having a discussion at dinner with Johnny Yep, who runs Catholic for Catholics, and we were sort of discussing everything. I get this text message from Skylar being like, "Ben,
be kind in the comments. Press 3 if you know where you're watching from. Press 3 if you know where you're watching from. Press 5 you've been here before where you're watching from. Please be kind in the comments. Be respectful."
Shapiro's like on stage, she's just like calling you out again. I said to myself, what is his investment in this? Why do I feel like he's somewhere along the way implicated in something? Let me clarify, I'm not saying he murdered Charlie Kirk, but it doesn't matter if I said that either way. His whole style is to try to sue people out of the free markets because he can't win in the free markets. But yeah, I'm going, what is this? Why do I feel like there's a hook here? And at that time, someone had mentioned to me, hey, did you see what's going viral right now on X? Which is that Erika Kirk lied about having not dated anybody before Charlie Kirk. And actually, I knew that she had dated somebody before Charlie Kirk, and I had never known that she had made that claim, and people were starting to make all of these videos about it, and wondering if she had misremembered or whether or not she was telling an intentional lie about her past. Now, what I can say is that there does seem to be disparity between her version of events and other people's version of events. Definitively at that meeting, obviously.
We showed those videos yesterday in regards to who Erika was allegedly dating before Charlie. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Already intimated that to you, like Andrew Colvett has a memory, Erika Kirk has a memory, and then the surgeon has a memory, right? I should also mention that the surgeon said, and again, this is through a third-party person, so it's not a direct line between me and the surgeon, that he absolutely did not violate HIPAA when he suggested, hey, maybe it's a frangible bullet, but rather that it was a three-way call with him and Andrew and Erika. I don't know if he's telling the truth or if Erika's telling the truth and Andrew Colvett was flying blind. But, there's a disparity. And as I was looking at this, I sort of went, oh, wait, yeah, I do remember that Charlie told me about Cabot Phillips dating a girl. For some reason, I thought it was Sammy, the other girl that he had a crush on. And I was like, was it Erika? That's so funny. I'm trying to remember this. And then I saw a picture in somebody's TikTok of Cabot Phillips. I hadn't seen him in a very long time, and he works for the Daily Wire. And he had a beard. And that was the thing that he kept saying to me, as this guy had a beard. He's around 37. Anyways, I sent him the picture of Cabot Phillips, and he says, yes, that's the person I remember being at the base. Now, I'm like, that would be totally crazy. Maybe, again, this could be a lookalike. And so I messaged Cabot Phillips and did not get a response. I messaged Cabot Phillips twice today, actually, and asked him if he wanted to have an off-record conversation, because we can't just, take that to the bank. Like I said, I am terrible with faces. So if I saw Cabot Phillips, I had to just...
And it's okay for Erika to date prior to Charlie. But Erika said she didn't date while she was living in XYZ. She said it, and people are looking it up because she's saying she didn't, but people are saying it looks as if she was in a relationship. So that's why people are calling it out. Fair use reaction clip. Let's continue.
From memory, there's 30,000 other people I would say it was definitely him too, and I can't trust Mitch's vision on this, but it at least is compelling. And I was like, let me do some basic fact checks here. What do I even know about this guy, Cabot Phillips? And I know that he does the Morning Wire at the Daily Wire, and I checked, and he's missing from the Morning Wire. He doesn't go daily, but he does it enough times that I noticed that he is missing from September 4th to September 10th on that show. And so I am looking to see, to just debunk or like remove him from the picture. And maybe to get a clearer understanding that maybe, you know, Mitch thinks he remembers things. I mean, he's super detail oriented, like telling me what kind of watch the person was wearing, because he was like, I was going to go up to him and I was going to say something, but I'm going, I don't know anything about actually Cabot Phillips, and it was very difficult to find any information outside of his father, who I found a lot of information about. Actually, he's a pretty big guy, you know, taking a lot of money from the Adelsons, and definitely a neocon. I'll tell you that for free. So I thought, could this be the reason that, you know, my backup could this be the reason that Ben's having some sort of a weird spiral? Does he know something, or is this just a case? And it could be, just be very clear, it could be a full case of Mitch misremembering. But I didn't give him the context. I didn't say this is Erika's ex-boyfriend from 2017. And I just found that to be interesting. And yeah, so I don't know what the reason would be to say that you didn't date someone. You did. And I don't understand it. I genuinely don't understand that at all. And the internet did pull this up, which I think we can show that. Yes, we're that couple who gets painting lessons together. There's a lot of social media activity between her and his family.
Yeah, she's saying, yes, that we're that couple that do painting level things together. She said it. Thank you for the gifted. Thank you for the gifted. I appreciate you. Like the video as you guys come in. Thank you for the gifted. I appreciate it.
I was also really compelled by how close she is with her cousin, this Nicole Rothstein, who defends her in the comments currently, by the way, and says,
thank you, thank you, thank you.
People were asking why it seems
I'm
like
trying to hit it, the
there's
thumbs
this
up
bend
it
towards Israel, and Nicole Rothstein was like,
thank
I'm
you,
her cousin,
thank
she's
you.
half Jewish. I did not
Thank you for the floating hearts. I appreciate you. Thank you. That looks like Melissa. Yes, thank you, Melissa.
I did know that she was part Jewish. I don't know about any of this at all, but it is interesting that they had a relationship. I don't know why that's being wiped from the memory. There's nothing wrong with having a relationship before you find the love of your life at all.
Told y'all.
So I'm hopeful that we can get some answers, and that's why I ask them publicly. When I can't get answers privately, I ask them publicly. Do you want to know why? Because I have a right to ask questions. And like I said, I don't like the way Ben is signaling that he doesn't want people looking into Erika, okay? And when people start looking in, they then find that a Daily Wire employee dated her. So that seems interesting, at the very least. And we should figure out, you know, what's actually going on. Like, what is actually going on? He even says the Mossad. I never once said the Mossad killed Charlie Kirk. So was that by accident? Definitely starting to think in a major way that Israel's got something to do with killing Charlie Kirk. And the Egyptian planes, which we are putting the final touches on, because I don't want there to be even one type of
allegedly can't confirm or deny. Let's continue. Fair use reaction
or mistake on this that we're going to put up on our website. It leads you to Israel. It just does. Okay, there's no question. That's why they were panicking about the Egyptian planes. Fort Huachuca is involved in lawsuits and sworn affidavits regarding 9/11. People who asserted that the prepping for that took place. The vibes are vibing here at Fort Huachuca. The more I learn about Fort Huachuca, and that's why we open you guys to this investigation to send us tips. And I would like to focus you on what we would like to learn. If you have concrete evidence of what occurred at Fort Huachuca on the early morning of the 9th, we want to hear from you. We do not want an email about what Mitch did in 1993 and why you don't think he's a good person because he had a divorce with his wife. We just don't need that. We do not want an email saying, I'm in the military and it would be unusual for them to allow him to book the hotel. We've already confirmed all of it. He has a literal video of him that's 18 minutes long asking for directions to get to where he's going. We can see in the background where he is. We don't want you to waste your time on that. We have verified everything we could verify about the story. We cannot verify the people. And yeah, I just sense that there's something there, because Ben is coming undone, and he only comes undone about one topic, and that is Israel. So we will take a break, and I will answer some of your questions. All right, you guys.
Like the video as she goes through her promotions. Like the video. There's about 546 in the building. If you hit subscribe, thank you. We're trying to hit 50K by next month. We get thousands and thousands and thousands of views, almost 500,000 per month. I bring y'all the TTT. Yesterday, we talked about the Erika dating history. She stated she wasn't dating. Her friends had bad situations. She felt she didn't want to date. And then they found pictures and comments of her stating dating. So why would she not tell the truth about that? Why would she not tell the truth about Charlie Kirk's concerns the day before or the week before? She said she has his phone. She said that's not true, but even someone on Charlie Kirk's team said it's true. Candace said it's true. Why are certain things she's not telling the truth about, or her memory is not telling the correct thing? That's what everybody's just wondering. You know, you can't tell a person how to grieve, but you allegedly forgave the person that allegedly took your husband out, but you're big mad. And I say big mad. Yeah, you're big mad at how Candace is handling the discovery of what happened that day. Candace is getting a lot of tips. Is Turning Point looking for a lot of tips? Are they doing deep dives like Candace? It's interesting that millions of people every week are tuning in to Candace. They Turning Point gets viewership. It's not as what it was when Charlie was here. RIP to Charlie Kirk. I do not agree with everything he says, his thoughts, his belief. It's concerning how he thinks about different race, cultures, people that are educated. It is concerning, but the man did not deserve to pass away. If there is concerns of how and who, I don't blame Candace for continuing to deep dive, because the same energy she's giving, many people wish the wife and his friends were giving that same energy when you really think about it. And that's what also concerns me. Why wasn't there an ambulance, and why did they pass the ambulance? Oh my goodness, you guys. Earlier, there was a guy. You guys see, this is the biggest thing about my page. I'm a little different. I'll kind of stop in regards to a thought. Remember when earlier this week, Candace showed pictures of the vehicle? Remember that? There are guys that's doing deep dives in regards to what they saw in the vehicle. I was listening to that this morning. So sometimes I'll tell you guys where to look or where to go. There are men that did deep dives in regards to what was in that vehicle. Yes, they're stating, they're wondering what really happened with Charlie. These men, I get why they do deep dives. They're more educated. They show receipts. They look up stuff. I don't do a lot of that. Communicate. But I tell y'all that there are men that's wondering regards to the pictures. And then this is what they said. They don't think Candace realized what she was showing in regards to what was in the vehicle. They said they're glad that, thank you for the gifted. Thank you, Buffy. Thank you. They said that they're glad that Candace showed that particular picture because it makes them wonder what really happened. That's huge. That was huge this morning. That was huge this morning. I'm going to try and look up his page name so you guys can go listen to what he's talked about. He's pretty big and he gets a lot of views. That was so interesting when they did the deep dive of what was on the floor in Charlie's vehicle. Baron Coleman. Baby, Baron Coleman was heated. He was so hyped. He couldn't wait to go live. Baron Coleman. He went live. He talked about what he saw in those pictures, and he had said his show was supposed to go into a different direction, but once he saw the pictures, he had to go in that direction and talk about it. So Baron Coleman, I've been listening to him, and normally, you know, my page, I'm a little different. I don't normally give you guys people's name. I tell you what to look up, and you guys got to figure it out. But in regards to Baron Coleman, he is, to my understanding, he is an attorney, full-time or part-time, and then he has a podcast. Really interesting podcast. There's a lot of different people I listen to, and I take things with a grain of salt. But Baron, baby, go listen to Baron. Put some headphones on, because y'all gonna be as interested as I was. Very interesting. So let's continue with Candace. Fair use reaction clip. Yes, great live with Baron Coleman. It was either this morning or it was last night. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. And you know, he may get things right, he may get things wrong, but I really like he's interesting though. So you gotta kind of, I listen to interesting people. I don't like boring people, but I do like interesting people. You gotta stay within the first hour to really listen to what he's saying. You're gonna get a lot within the first 30 minutes of what Baron was saying. And him and another guy was doing deep dives. Oh my goodness, you guys. Baron also showed Charlie's shirt in regards to, how do we say it? Oh, they also showed that day. They showed Charlie's shirt in regards to things under his shirt. And then they showed his team moving around. Very interesting. Go, you got to go. Thank you for subscribing. Yes, I will. My page is a little different. I will debunk things if I need to. I'll tell you where to kind of look for things, because there are people that show receipts, and I'm big on showing receipts. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Okay, you guys, reminding you, if you would like to purchase my book for Christmas, you can do so on Amazon now. You just add it to your cart, and you will absolutely love it. It really gets into the history of feminism and who brought the plague to break down families to America. And you can really trace that right back to the same people who assassinated the Tsar, people who believe that they have a right to murder.
Okay, so there's that. I wish I want to play some of Baron's stuff. I do. I want to play some of his stuff, but I want y'all to go over there and listen because it's a full hour. I don't have an hour, but it was really good. Either, like I said, either he went live this morning or it was his live from yesterday, but definitely go listen to what he had to say. And everybody, thank you for the gifted. I appreciate you guys. I really do. I think the last gifted was Buffy. Thank you, Buffy, for the gifted. I don't remember the other names, but thank you all for the gifted. I really appreciate it. I wasn't certain whether I was going to go live, but I really wanted to play what Candace had to say about Ben. I'm going to play that again in regards to some people are just now coming in. I'm going to play that again. There's another video that I'm going to play for you guys. I'll probably do that Monday. So let's listen in on what she had to say about Ben. Like the video as you guys come in. Hold on. Fair use reaction.
Me. He has attempting to bankrupt me in courts, sending undercover interns to stalk me. He has issued thus far 3 court proceedings, okay, for every solitary petty infraction against things that I say. He's worked with Barry Weiss behind the scenes to have articles written about me. It is non-stop. As you pretend that you care about free speech and debate, I've put up with a lot of it, but today I draw the line. I draw the line with this miserable imp when it comes to Charlie Kirk, okay? Don't try me on this, but you keep trying me on this. You are an imposter, Ben. You're an imposter.
No, Tucker Carlson, it is not an excuse to go silent on Candace's targeting of TPUSA. Or to mirror her bullshit lines of questioning because you love Candace personally. The same holds true of Megyn Kelly, a person I consider a friend.
See, my page is a little different than most pages. You can believe whatever you want to believe. Over here, we talk about everything. So you can have a belief this way. You could have a belief this way. We're not one track minded over here. You can believe whatever you want to believe, but I bring you guys the information to make a proper decision. And even if you don't agree with that, everything you have to take with a grain of salt. We don't force anything down anybody's throat here. I give you guys information and you can then go to pages that's done deep dives and they have the research. My life is so busy, I can't do a lot of the research in regards to certain receipts. I can send you over there, but you guys can make proper decisions on what you believe. And this is the biggest thing. Why is Candace the only one giving us updates about Charlie? Why aren't the police or the FBI, why aren't more people giving us more updates on what happened? And then why are the messages interesting? Why wasn't there an ambulance? Why does Erika have Charlie's phone? Why have they released the vehicle and where he was in? It's a lot of things. And this is the other thing. Be very clear. When they have the court hearing about this case, when is it? March, May, whatever it is, we're going to do deep dives and many people are going to talk about the exhibits. And why isn't this there? Why isn't that there? Who has this? Who has that? That's going to be very interesting on what is missing, what should still be there. If Charlie had unwelcoming thoughts and comments, don't you think that they would keep his phone longer to investigate what happened to that man? Why aren't there more news reports in regards to the autopsy, in regards to what happened, the decisions that were made? And this is the biggest thing too. Go listen to the 911 call from TMZ. TMZ got the 911 call about what was going on. So go listen to that and take that with a grain of salt on the decisions that were made. And maybe there was a private one done for the wife. Now, did his family ask for a second autopsy? It's interesting his family is not speaking out. Charlie Kirk's family hasn't spoken out. And then I thought I saw someone say that they have, but not too many people are talking about it. And is Charlie Kirk's family, parents, Charlie Kirk has sisters, brothers, but is Charlie Kirk's family also tuning into Candace to hear the tips that she's getting? It's interesting that Turning Point looks like they just want to move forward. You don't find that interesting? You don't find that interesting that she cried on that stage and allegedly forgave the alleged person, but she's big mad with Candace and telling Candace to stop. Why would a wife say stop investigating what happened to her husband? If I love my boo, my bae, let's do deep dives together. Let's send me those receipts. Send me that proof. Okay, I'm a busy woman. She's a mom now. she say, two beautiful children, sit once a week. Let's come together on the receipts that you have. Why isn't a wife saying, she said we're building. Why not say we're still mourning and I want Candace to come together with me to still investigate? Y'all don't find that interesting? Or you don't want to know what happened to your spouse? Some people don't really care for their spouse, so they might not care what really happened to the spouse. But it seemed like she really loved Charlie. It seemed like it. Why isn't she doing deep dives like Candace is doing deep dives? Why isn't the team Turning Point saying, send me tips, send me information? We got to work with her, everybody, because we want to know what's going on. No, instead, they're throwing big shade, they're big mad, and they're telling her to stop. Where they do that at? Where they do that at? I'm a little different. Yeah, y'all can hear it in my voice. I'm a little different. Me and my friends like to laugh, have fun, but we can be very serious when we need to be serious. It's very interesting that Candace is doing a deeper dive than the wife, the mourning wife. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Characterizing Candace as a young mother and thus shying away from condemning her actions or fibbing about them. That is a non-starter. When Candace Owens says, I don't know, but I know, that is her, and we are all more for having heard it.
Well, Dad, when it comes to you, and having worked with you, I just know the tactics that you use to feign popularity in the public. I just know the amount of money that you are willing to spend on advertising to inflate your numbers.
That's cute. You said you like her because she reminds you of a girl in high school. Yeah, whenever she wants to put her hands in something, you're not going to be able to get her hand out that cookie jar. She going to get to the cookie she won't, baby. And she's going to find out what happened to her friend. If something happened to anybody famous that she always talks about within a year's period, she's going to do a deep dive in regards to their situation too. This is not just because it's Charlie. This is what Candace is going to do if they're not answering proper questions. And you got to remember too, the students at the campus are under a gag order. We've had some unfortunate situations at different campuses. And I haven't heard, but I don't cover that all the time. But it's very interesting that people are saying that there's a gag order now on these students. And it went out, a month and a half ago, that the judge put out a gag order. And yes, they want a fair trial. But we're also going to see if there are exhibits and things missing that can prove XYZ. Was he working alone? Is he the only person? We don't know. But over here on my page, we cover it all. Even in regards to when I cover Trump, we cover it all, the good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. I'm not on anybody's side. Many people have things to say about Candace, and many people are doing deep dives about that. Sometimes we'll cover certain things that they're saying about Candace. We cover it all. I'm not on one side. We just want to get down to the bottom of what is being said. So let's continue with what she has to say about Ben. So why is Ben doing deep dives of what happened to Charlie? Or they're just saying, Tyler did it and we're done. Hands off. He worked by himself. He was able to climb. He changed outfits. The dog didn't sniff out the what took him out. The person found it, but the dog didn't find it. And we know dogs are trained to do XYZ. And Candace got called out because some of these military people are saying, hey, that's where we're going to stop you. You can't tell us that the dogs didn't do what they were supposed to do. But here nor there, certain things are not adding up. And did they close that Dairy Queen where they found him within that week in a different outfit? And didn't a picture of who they said did it, the pictures look different? Isn't that interesting to you? Because a lot of people thought who alleged did it was the other picture of the guy. And he had a huge debate with Charlie. I don't know if y'all know that. Because when this all happened, me and my friends were kind of like, well, probably it was that guy, because that picture looked like the guy that was having a huge debate with Charlie. Oh, I see a lot of stuff. I pay attention to what I want to pay attention to. And if I get it wrong, I'll tell you guys that too. Yep. We debunk stuff over here. When that Diddy trial was going on, we were debunking lies. We weren't on Diddy's side. The things he said and did were disgusting. We were debunking things, whether we wanted to or not. But even in this situation, how is it that the close friend that used to work with Charlie is doing deep dive and asking for tips? And she's giving a lot of great information, and she's releasing what she can release after she research and verify. So people got to be patient too. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Make people think that you're popular. So yeah, I don't have to say we don't know when it comes to you. You are such a joke of a little man. Your jealousy against Tucker, your ability to believe that you can keep manipulating the markets. You know those kids booed you on that stage. The amount of messages I got from Turning Point USA people saying, what is happening? Why is he on the stage? Standing against everything that Charlie believed in. That's what you're doing.
And she's still getting she's still getting tips from Turning Point employees. You know that's going to make them mad. You know they're probably going to put out an email or a message. If we find out you're sending tips to Candace, you could be fired. They're probably going to tell them that. Like the video, fair use. There's about 379 in the building. Please, all 379 subscribe. We're trying to get to 50K by next month. Please subscribe. Let's continue, fair use.
Sitting against everything that Charlie believed in. Because you weren't his friend. He didn't like you for that very reason. Look at you, and I just think you are such a little worm. I could see you right now, probably. What can we get out to her? We're going to sue her into bankruptcy again, right? Sue her for every infraction, every word that I don't like, and every time my feelings are hurt. You believe that you are contract lords and that people are not allowed to violate contracts or you will ruin them for years. Fire someone, and you effectively stalk and harass them for years after. I'm here to let you know that I'm done with it. I am done with it. This one is so fully off of the mother effing plantation. Truly, Ben Shapiro, you and the midget horse that you rode in on. And I say that on behalf of the world.
Well, damn. Like the video. Let me see if Candace is going to do some question and answers. Let's continue. If anybody is not doing deep dives like Candace that was close with Charlie, you got to look at them side eye. The one guy that's in the glasses and the white shirt, I don't know these people's names because I don't want to never confuse the names. But go look at the guy that was recording the event, and go look at the guy that talked about passing the ambulance. Go look at the guy. He's the guy that said, in the white shirt and the glasses, he's the one that said, we passed the ambulance. He's the one that said Charlie had concerns the week of. He is telling similar things that Candace is telling. And I'm sure the team is a little mad, but Charlie was really close to him. And Charlie didn't play about that guy. Go look it up. All you got to do is type in the man that speaks about the ambulance in regards to Charlie Kirk, and it will pop up. Like the video. Let's continue. It popped up for me today. Okay, let's get to the clip. Hold on 1 second. Let me get the volume up. Hold on. Thanks for being here.
Go Max, Candace, go Max. Thank you for that donation. Chance Callahan writes, as a gay tenant, bring hell on himself if he was not telling the truth. I know. I
Hold on.
Makes a good Christmas gift. We have fun merch, and we have new to be doing stuff from the people to the people, not relying on these traditional modes of really slavery. They're artificially created in the market and are protected. And what do? They always want people to be removed from the market because they can't compete. If the rules are fair, they would be nowhere. That's the Barry Weisses and Ben Shapiro's of the world. They would be absolutely nowhere. I mean, imagine having your dad babysit you and like write mean comments to people on the internet and you're like 45 years old. Like, what even are we talking about? Okay, top comment from last episode. Stephanie writes, why would this man willingly bring hell on himself if he was not telling the truth? I know. And there's so much more about his story. Like when you start reading what they put him through, it's unbelievable. And again, I think that's why so many veterans who have honestly been through these scenarios with the military just wrote so many beautiful emails. I wish I could share them all with him. Many people, by the way, who completely verified what he said about Fort Huachuca. One person who even said, oh, that year I was actually JTF, and he's absolutely telling the truth because of the horses. That part he talks about like the horseback riders, and they told me who the general was and insisted that they all learn to ride horses. So he is very much being supported, and we can do this stuff without support from the mainstream media. Let them keep calling us crazy. I'm okay with that. We would only be crazy if we believed anything that they were saying at this point. Unaffected COVID writes, go Max, Candace, go Max. Thank you.
Think about it. If there were more reports that was coming out in regards to Charlie, Candace wouldn't have to do this. But since there's not a lot of reports, and it seems like a lot of things are hush-hush, and the team just wants to move forward. Why would you want to move forward and not cover what happened? That's why so many people are covering this, because a lot of stuff is not adding up. Think about YouTube. Yes, YouTube looks for things to talk about and cover, but there's so many discrepancies, so many things that's not adding up. That's why you see a lot of YouTubers covering it. And then there's YouTubers that's covering still hot topics, trending topics, and celebrity news. But a lot of people are doing deep dives in regards to the shirt. The people to the right, the people to the left, them handing things off. Did his hand go up? They were talking about, did he have a pulse? There's things that people are wondering why the police and the government isn't releasing monthly information about what happened to Charlie and concerns about Charlie. That's why a lot of people are covering it. Let's continue. It's a Saturday. I could be doing other stuff. I'm bringing y'all this information because it's important. I am going to get to what I need to do, but let's continue with her question and answer to her people. Fair use reaction clip.
For that donation. Chance Callahan writes, as a gay Tennessean and OG Candace stan, I have always appreciated your authenticity and intellectual honesty. I used to have to defend my support of you, but that is no longer. The people are waking up and recognizing who and what is fake and gay. Stay safe and thank you. Yeah, even the way when he tries to like diss me on stage and he's like, retarded, the way he says retarded is like, he's so effortlessly uncool. That's what I want to say about Ben. He's just like effortlessly uncool. So cringe. 8 Birds writes, all I want for Christmas is justice for Charlie. Here's a Christmas present for you, Candace. Thank you. I am so grateful for you and I pray for you constantly. Keep it up. God is using you in a big way. Thank you. And I feel that way. I feel like all of this is us just breaking the shackles. Like there are just been mental shackles that have been put on us, telling us we have to stay in line, that we have to accept this, that we have to believe in this arbitrary authority. And everyone around the world is waking up to it. Like we are just waking up to how absolutely duped we have become as a society, believing that the system is fair when it's so clearly rigged in our faces. And yeah, I just hope that people feel inspired to similarly go max and stand up against it. And I don't even care about these lawsuits anymore. I mean, Ben's going to get me a legal letter so fast. I don't care, man. This is your whole, the Pharisees, people who write the laws, and we got the judges, and blah, blah, and we'll put you in a private court and sue you for liking tweets. Like you heard him on stage. Like I was like literally sued for liking tweets. You know how petty you have to be to even look at somebody's likes? What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? And then publicly trying to pretend like you care about free speech while you privately sue people who are just trying to leave your company after they're fired. You fired me. Like let me go. Like please let me go. Stop telling people you're chosen. You are not chosen to do shit except within the synagogue of Satan. Clearly, because everything you do is the manufacturing of lies, bullying, getting people to write articles, smearing, libeling. Yeah, it's pretty explicit what kind of people engage sort of stuff. So, anyways, let me stop telling you guys how I really feel. AU Basri writes, damn, let her cook.
Let her cook.
I might not be rich, but this is for the joy you gave me for calling out Mini Benny out for his Napoleon complex. I haven't had a laugh that good in a while. Thank you, go Max, stay Max. Guys, this isn't even the tip of the iceberg in terms of what that man has put me through because I survived. Like literally, it's like, that's why I say it's a slave owner mentality. It's very obvious that that's what it is. Why are you hosting 300 people to fire someone? What is that? Here's what she did wrong. Here's what she did wrong. And I'm just like the one who doesn't even flinch because literally F you. Yeah, literally F you. I don't care. Stop. Kanye was right. He was totally right. That's why he burned down his life and said, I'd rather rebuild it than let you own 1 ounce of it. And when you do rebuild it and they don't own it, well, then you get into a scary territory, right? You get into a scary territory because what they are willing to do to take when they can't earn it, it's very scary. History tells us and shows us. A KXH writes, they're angry that Candace is intelligent, eloquent, beautiful, and stays beating them at every turn. I'm so glad that you spoke up about the racial element of this. You're a role model to us black women everywhere. Candace, go Max. Yeah, as we black people just gotta learn our history, man. You gotta learn once you the minstrel shows, who's behind the minstrel shows, and you know the truth behind the Jim Crow laws, and who. Even when you learn about the Klansmen, I mean, the things that happened, and all they had to do was control our textbooks and keep us all fighting each other. And you're out here talking about what the white man has done. Who do you think tried to genocide the white man in Europe, right? Yeah, take a look at that. I keep telling you, watch that PBS documentary that they came after me hardcore for speaking about. What's the Savage piece? Yeah, those are your ancestors, guys. Yeah, you are European, like white Europeans. These are your ancestors, and with propaganda, they basically mow the lawn. They get you as white men to sign up and agree to murder white men on the other side of the world. It's white men murdering white men, and for different reasons being propagandized. Wake up. Like, we all need to wake up and lock arms against sheer evil. And the military-industrial complex is sheer evil. And the psychological games they are playing with people, they're playing on people, is sheer evil. What Charlie was going through in the end, because of Jewish donors threatening him, I'm going to take everything, if you even let Tucker speak, over speech, is sheer evil. It's despicable. Somebody should apologize for it. Instead, they go, we'll buy our way, and Benny will sit near Charlie's chair, and we'll pretend he was his friend. We can just buy everything. We'll buy your compliance. No, actually, our answer to that is no. Chrissy writes, and that midget horse you wrote in on, LOL, I love you, Candace. And I mean it, like, really, I mean that. And I know I probably am most definitely going to have to confess, but I have taken the high road enough, and I'm sick of the lawfare. Stop showing up to my house because you do things to me. Imagine doing something to someone and then demanding they apologize for it. It's totally crazy. And I extended every courtesy, you guys. I extended every courtesy. My husband really said, let's do the Christian thing. But I realized you can't really do the Christian thing with people that hate Christ. It doesn't work. Christian thing doesn't work with people who hate Christ.
Wow.
So if you're a good Talmudic Jew, as he always says he's a Talmudic Jew, you will understand once you get what's in that Talmud exactly what he means, exactly what he thinks about you. It's important that you understand that. 7 Sheets writes, what a year. You deserve a break, but we'll be waiting. You deserve Journalist of the Year for just not being bi, fake, and gay. God bless and be safe. Thank you, guys. Herbster writes, our new motto in Candace's 2028 presidential campaign slogan should be, today is another great day to go Max. It would just be go Max. I would never run for president. I hate everybody that's in D.C. I hate their values. I think they are despicable, and how they have acted since Charlie has been assassinated. I hate that they are embarking on this psychological campaign to try to make us believe that what happened that day was normal. It has made me lose faith in politics.
Yeah, and he has friends in high places. Are they doing a bigger deep dive and more investigation? They've even passed on. They've even moved on. Why are they not saying, send us tips, send us information? What is going on? Why is his friends more silent than Candace? You've got to question that. Like the video, like the video. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 3 if you know where you're watching from. Press 5 if you've been here before, where you're watching from. Thanks for being here, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
This does not made me lose faith in the Lord. And in many ways, I see everything that Charlie wanted. I understand that he knew he was going to die. And I understand that it has to be me that defends him and exposes this entire matrix to the world. So anyways, you guys, I think I've said enough today. So we'll see you. Whenever we see you, I will communicate. We might do something next week. I know I owe you guys a book club, but we'll see you soon.
Hello, Sacramento. Hello, D-Town, Detroit. All right. Hello, Detroit. How's those Lions? How's those Lions? Hello, Detroit. Very interesting story about the Michigan coach. That was very interesting, but we get it. Michigan, still a great team. Washington State. Hello, everyone. Thank you, thank you. And that's no shade to Michigan. Everyone still loves Michigan. The coach made a bad decision. Hopefully he can get himself together. But hello, that's South Detroit. All right. What's the word? What do y'all say? What up, though? What up, though, Michigan? Hey. Hello, UK. Hello, hello. What up, though, Michigan? Yes. Like the video, like the video. Okay, so you guys are just not coming in. We're going to play these last few clips of Candace speaking out in regards to her meetup with Erika.
Just to say this, very happy that we are on much better feet and that we have opened the lines of communication. I do genuinely think that Justin Stripe did a great job reffing that conversation yesterday. And I also do want to shout out Megyn Kelly, because we were trying to make this happen in the background really since Blake Neff fumbled the first invite.
Hello,
and thank you. That's in large part because of you guys at home that were like, what the F was that? And I think that they got enough flack that they were like, okay, we got to fix this. But I want to commend him for making that happen, for being the person that, kind of rolled up his sleeves and was like, okay, let's actually make a conversation happen and start answering some questions, which I think was done well. And Megyn Kelly, who was initially going to, when we were going to live stream the conversation before the Barry Weiss moment, Megyn Kelly offered to ref that conversation. I felt like she would have done a very good job. I do think that she has kept it very even. She has not been hysterical and it's demonic, it's evil, how dare Candace? And I appreciated that. And just to say this, very happy that we are on much better feet and that we have opened the lines of communication. I do genuinely think that Justin Stripe did a great job reffing that conversation yesterday. And I also do want to shout out Megyn Kelly, because we were trying to make this happen in the background really since Blake Neff fumbled the first invite. And thank you. That's in large part because of you guys at home that were like, what the F was that? And I think that they got enough flack that they were like, okay, we got to fix this. But I want to commend him for making that happen, for being the person that
kind of rolled
up his sleeves. And I appreciated that. She has said, I don't agree with Candace, but I also don't think that she's doing this because she's been possessed by a demon. I think she actually believes these things, and I do. And I have a right to believe those things.
Yeah, some people don't like Megyn Kelly.
I don't feel any differently about the people that I mentioned on the show that I think at Turning Point USA. And with time, we'll see whether or not I was right. I think that's really what it comes down to. But all around, definitely a productive conversation. And I appreciated that. She has said, I don't agree with Candace, but I also don't think that she's doing this because she's been possessed by a demon. I think she actually believes these things, and I do. And I have a right to believe those things. And I don't feel any differently about the people that I mentioned on the show that I think are shady.
So I wanted to play that last clip that she talked about her and Erika's meeting. Because remember how we were wondering if she was going to change her narrative, if she was going to change her thoughts, her feelings, but it's almost like she went even deeper and harder in regards to talking about the people that were she's trying to talk about what happened the week of Charlie. I got to be careful what I say for YouTube purposes, but I think it's almost like she met with Erika and then she brought out the big information in regards to the man feeling like he saw people that might have knew Charlie. So I'm cautious about what I say, but you guys know what I'm alluding to. So we can't confirm or deny because we don't have the actual pictures. But go check out Candace's live in regards to the man that spoke about whether he saw people that knew Charlie the week of his passing. Go look that up. And then if you want more homework, go look up, who was that? Byron Coleman. I already told you guys it's Byron Coleman. Go look his video up. And it's very interesting what Candace talked about in her brown turtleneck last week and in her white turtleneck last week. The information when she was talking about the stop and go traffic lights. Very interesting. The stop and go traffic light last week. Yes, it's Byron Coleman. Very interesting live. I literally was waking up and I sat up. I was like, what? Yeah, I will try and give you guys, if I hear stuff, I'll tell you about it. So note, my page is a little different. I try and retain as much information so I can tell you guys I'm not on this side or the other side. I'm just trying to get information to figure out what's going on. You guys know my page. I was covering a lot of the politics stuff and doing hot topics, trending topics. But many people are calling out the misinformation, the lies, the discrepancies. So I'm grateful that I get almost a 500,000 views per month. So I can kind of make sure if I hear stuff and if I have to debunk stuff, you guys, you can come over here. At some point, memberships are over there. I do hear certain things that I do be wanting to say, hey, that's something that I can start sending my members. So I might start pushing more the memberships. So that way I'm going to start saving stuff. So if I need to save it, I can drop that for my members so you guys can understand what's going on. So I'm not on this side, that side. I'm just trying to give information. Yeah, so I thank you guys for the gifted. I appreciate you guys. I hope everyone has hit the subscribe button. If all 330 people hit subscribe, that'll be an amazing day for me. Yes, that'll be an amazing day for me. Yes, thank you. Thank you. So please hit the subscribe button. So let me go ahead and do my disclaimer, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships and research. Fair use is used, prevented by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged, in our opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. So thanks for being here. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for being kind in the comments. Be kind, everyone. Be respectful, everyone. And actually have a great weekend. I was debating. Thank you. I was debating. You're my first super chat for today. Thank you. I appreciate that. Even if I love it. $1.99. I appreciate it. I love telling my boo when I get super chats. I was debating whether to go live. So they're off doing stuff. And I said, I'm going to go ahead and go live. It'll keep my numbers the way it needs to be. Because I was like on vacation for almost 2 weeks. So I was doing small videos for like 30 minutes, hour, brought my numbers down. My numbers shot right back up. So once you're in that algorithm, you want to stay in it. But when you want to be on vacation, you just want to be on vacation. So thank goodness I'm back to the 1 million views per month. But my numbers were going down because I was just doing live for 30 minutes and I was spending time with family. And I got a lot of family members that's birthdays are this month. Man, isn't that something when their birthdays are the month of December? But we always try and make sure those people aren't cheated. We always make sure they're not cheated. But it's always good to take breaks when you want to take breaks. You want to have lunch with your boo, your bae. You want to have lunch with your best friend. So I was still going live for only 30 minutes. Today I was live. Thank you for the memberships. Yes, I just saved a video last night. And I almost posted it as a short. But I said no, because that's what I've been saying. And sometimes I will find stuff I've been saying, and then sometimes I will post those shorts for y'all at night. Yes, yes, the holiday season. I'm so ready. I'm so ready. Thank you for the membership. I appreciate it. So at nights, even though I want to spend quality time with my boo, my bae, I do try and do my shorts between 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. But what I might start doing is certain shorts where I feel that is very interesting, I might start posting those as memberships. What I've been doing, I've been trying to save stuff. I've been trying to save stuff. And, you know, you got to watch what you say to protect yourself. But that's what I'm thinking about doing, is starting to save those shorts. So when you become members, look for those shorts that it's just for members. And I got to be careful too, because sometimes those members, it'll go live and then it'll go public. It's like, no, 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 no. These are for my members. So I am going to start doing that in regards to shorts. And I did do shorts. For the person that's a new member, I did do some shorts just for members only. And I really have to start pushing the memberships, because there are things that I want the members to be able to hear. And it's easier for me to show it in shorts for members, because when I'm doing my shorts, it's like, wow, that's interesting. Wow, that's interesting. Wow, I kind of talked about that. So, so that's what I'll probably start doing for my members, doing those shorts and saving it as a short. And then I have to go back and then say members only, because it'll post it public. And then I have to go back and save it for member. Yeah, very interesting. So there was something I saved last night. What I saved last night was interesting about a lot. It was about the campus. It was a lot. It was very interesting. So, yeah, that's why I think I'm going to start posting them. Versus making a video and having to upload it, I'll do it as a short. So, thank you for the memberships. You guys will see some of the things I'm seeing, and you guys will start questioning things I'm questioning, because you have to be very careful on YouTube in regards to posting stuff. But if I do it as a short, it allows me to do it as a short. So, thank you for the gifted. Thank you for the super sticker. Thank you for the membership. I appreciate you all. I hope you guys appreciate me. I want everyone to have a happy holiday. Be around people that just love on you and that just support you. If you are a person like myself that's very giving to a fault, if you are a person like me, sometimes it's okay to shut down and focus on yourself, and other people have to kind of step in for you, just for you guys to, get a breather. Big-hearted people are people that sometimes our hearts get broken sometimes too, because we want people to give like we do, but sometimes people aren't blessed to give like that. So I wish you all a happy Saturday. I don't know if we're going to have a late breakfast, because I love breakfast and I love lunch. I don't know what we're about to do, but I'm getting the look that I need to go ahead and enjoy my Saturday. So I hope you guys appreciated the show. I debated, but I'm glad I did go live. So this live is going to get a lot of views. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. Please subscribe, because that will make me feel better that I did go live on a Saturday. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Be blessed. Goodbye.